ज्ञान जिया तिया परी जगई आत्मैक्य करी तै सुरिया खोचे सुरी तैसे झाले. See, these are so deep thoughts. If you read it superficially, it won't give us the correct import of the statement. See, all of us, in and through all our activities, are struggling to establish oneness. For example, an object, Rasmalai. Rasmalai is other than me. So what is the desire? Desire is that the otherness of the object is dissolved and we are able to establish oneness. Therefore, all that we are doing is only this. When we seek something, when we do something, when we reject something, this all is aimed at only one thing, and that is we are seeking happiness. Now, if we analyze and find out why do we seek happiness, why we don't want miseries. If you take waters and apply heat, put it in a pan and put it on a stove. So the water will gather the heat from the fire. Thereafter switch off the heat. Then what will happen? Slowly that water which has acquired heat, which is not its natural state, so it will slowly start giving it up. In short, everything in this world wants to come back to its own status. Now, why we are seeking happiness is this. We are basically bliss. Because we have not been able to recognize our own blissful experience, then we are seeking happiness. Because that is our natural state. And then what happens? We get the glimpses of that happiness when we indulge with some desires. So I wanted something, I get it, and thereafter I feel happy. So what I start imagining, that happiness has come from the object. And then we want to repeat it. And when it's repeated again and again, we get a confirmation, yes, this object is the source of happiness, therefore I want it. Friends. But if we go a little deeper in analyzing our own experience, it tells us we are not happy, and that uneasiness of not being happy creates a turmoil in our mind. And that turmoil is with reference to something. So we only imagine this object may be a source of happiness. Then all those people who start smoking, drinking, drugs, they have not known that it is a source of happiness or not. But they see others. See, this fellow is drinking. There must be something. So we try, and then we get the kick of it, and then we want to repeat. And slowly, slowly, we come to this conclusion that this object is the source of happiness. Therefore, we want to repeat it. But if we recognize when the mind is disturbed, it is a state of misery. When the mind is not disturbed, it is a state of bliss. And therefore, what we all do is erase the disturbances of the mind. Disturbances in the mind is called as desire. So, the birth of desire is a notion that I am incomplete. Birth of the desire is a notion that object is the source of happiness. Birth of desire is the notion that unless I get that object, I will not be happy. The birth of the desire is agitations in the mind on account of this. And the birth of desire is so much pressure that unless I get it, I shall not keep quiet. And then we get it. Net result is the desire, the agitations, everything quietens down. And in a hurry, we have the conclusion. When I did not have that object, I was miserable. When I got it, I am happy. Therefore, that object is the source of happiness. This is all that goes on inside. Therefore, whatever we are doing in life is only seeking happiness. But our happiness is misplaced. We place the happiness in the objects, in the people, in the relations, in the achievements. We keep it there. But if we are little wise, then we come to know every failure is the stepping stone for success. Then that failure will not make us miserable. But because our interaction is under the influence of ignorance, we start struggling and getting frustrated. Therefore, everything that we do in our life is only to discover oneness. Object is other than me. If I get that object, I am happy. And therefore, whatever we are doing or not doing is only seeking happiness. And in happiness, if a happy body is not born, then addiction doesn't happen. But if the experience of happiness creates a happy body, then addiction happens. And then slowly, when you go on recognizing your own mind's folly, we come to know our mind cannot remain attracted toward the same thing, for the same place, for the same situation, for the same person, for the same indulgence throughout life. It cannot remain. Mind is so fickle, it can never remain attracted towards any desha, kala, vastu, vyakti, paristhiti. And then that mind start making us run from pillar to post. This is how we keep on moving. But we don't understand whether we change the objects, whether we change the people, whether we change the places, whether we change the job. What are we really seeking is only bliss instead of seeking bliss. Vedanta tells, express happiness in and through every action of your life. See? And therefore, this principle, jnana jiyatiya pari yena kena prakarena, whatever way we may follow, whether we start smoking or we give up smoking. We start smoking for getting happiness. Then we give up smoking so that I am happy. See, friends. So, jnana jiyatiya pari, jagi atmaikya kari. So, we are all seeking non-dual experience. When I want an object to indulge, that object is with me, in me. So, the duality has disappeared. Atmaikya kari. Oneness is established. Therefore, real knowledge is that which establishes oneness. And the fake knowledge is that which establishes otherness. Okay? And when there is no otherness, there cannot be any disturbance. There cannot be any desire. There cannot be any achievement. There cannot be any failure. No comparison.